So I've added a lot to my game recently, so much now that it exceeds 10,000 lines. I'm developing a tribe building RPG where you control a duplicating tribe in a world that you must survive, explore, and conquer. But wait, I'm pretty confused. What did I do to get to over 10,000 lines of code? Farming, fighting, commands, enemy AI, behavior trees, bomb throwing, splitting. But despite my superhuman development efforts, we have a problem. It's not enough. The art is bad, there's no gameplay loop, the game lacks identity. There's like a million things I need to do. I need a plan. So I made one. If I build these 8 things, then we have a prototype. And in this devlog, we're doing caves, because that should be easy enough. First we need a cave entrance. Okay, that works. Now let's go inside the cave. Wait, how do I actually do that? I needed scenes. So I made a scene manager that can elegantly load scenes, in addition to a new cave scene. And then I ventured in the cave, but all I saw was darkness, just like my heart. And although I'll never fill the empty void in my heart, I do know what to do here. We need tiles. This was the first one I did, but I didn't like it. And this was the second one I did, but I didn't like it. And this was the third one, and I decided to use that. But I still didn't like it. But for time's sake, I decided to use the third tile as a floor, and the other 2 for the ceiling and walls. They don't go to waste. Okay, this looks a bit depressing. So let's add some lighting. Oh, epic. And there's even a torch. And it has a shadow when you're close. Beautiful. That's AAA right there. Then I made this rock sprite, which was way harder than you'd think. But I also learned something extremely important about game dev, and also art. The number one thing to make your art look good? It's something the human eye can't see the same way it sees colors. It's values. Using rods rather than cones, we perceive the underlying structure through its brightness and darkness. Take any good art, throw it in Photoshop, apply grayscale to it, and I guarantee you it'll still look good. And of course, don't forget that colors even have their own underlying values too. So, values are very valuable. One thing TV taught me is that caves have treasure in them, so I added gold ore. And since the cave felt lifeless, I also added a cave fern. Then I made a few caverns, and I was really liking it so far. But when I tried to leave the cave, I was blinded by all these mysterious red things. Turns out, loading back into the overworld caused a million issues with things being recreated. So I made a game manager that more elegantly handles the creation and persistence of core gameplay systems. And to test that loading the overworld scene actually worked, I added a scene for the main menu. And don't judge the main menu. It works, and that's all that matters. You can't judge me, you don't even know, but now you can load into the world, enter the magic cave, and come back again. How epic is that? Let's keep this momentum going and make rocks breakable. Luckily I already have this abstract world object class, so I just made a rock and gold ore class and implemented it, along with some sounds and a very mediocre particle effect, which gave me this. You'll also notice I'm using a hoe to break the rock, and that's because animation takes forever, and it's been 6 months since I made a devlog, so for now you break rock to the hoe. And you cut down trees with the hoe. Don't like it? Too bad. You get to be a pimp in my game. Since this is a tribe building RPG, I wanted to add where you can command your tribe to mine. It was surprisingly straightforward. It was only about 400 additional lines of code. And since I already built out this behavior tree system, it didn't take that long either. But yeah, I did an amazing job with this part. There's like no bugs. That's not AAA. And for fun, I got it to where you can destroy rocks and trees with bombs. All I had to do was change it to where the explosion checks for colliders in the world layer. So yeah, pretty cool trick and pretty epic result. It's a pretty efficient tool, as long as you're careful. Now I'll say the obvious, which is that what I've implemented is not perfect, but this is a prototype, and I intend to rebuild all of this probably about 3 times. Which, by the way, fun fact, Eric Baroni redid the art for Stardew Valley multiple times, and I already have a lot of things I want to change. Like I want to change the caves where you can actually mine the walls. I'm not sure what other games do this, but I did find one called Necess, and they do a pretty nice job. Also, I plan to not make the overworld procedurally generated, but I do want the caves to be. I think a mixture of caverns that you explore with nodes along with mining through the walls, I think that would be pretty cool. Making this game will be a lot of work, but I'm willing to do it. And if you watch this far, tell me what you think, because I'm actually curious. Or just leave a comment for the algorithm, that would be cool. And wait, what is this? What is even happening? Unacceptable. You know what?